This is some Greenlight good stuff called Apocryph, which is a good tip for game developers. If you have a game and you don't have a name for the game, come up with a word that exists it sounds pretty cool, and then just chop a couple of letters off the end of it. I've seen that a few times with video games. They'll take a cool word, chop some letters off, and then you've got a good name. It's original but familiar, which this game seems to be. It's very gory and has slimy things in it. Anyway, let's actually talk about the game properly. So we get clear old school shooter vibes from this one. Commenters on the Greenlight page have likened it to Hexen. I think that comes from just the aesthetic, the overall artistic direction of it. Gameplay wise, you're looking at your Dooms, your Quakes, your Painkillers, that whole deal, that whole shaboom. I don't know what a shaboom is, but it looks good, doesn't it? Everything looks artistically cohesive. The action is solid. I mean, it's mostly enemies running towards you, but not in a bad way. Just good wave-based monster shooting with some really interesting-looking guns and demons and skeletons. And you all know how much I like skeletons. There's some jibs there. The art of the jib is a lost one. That's putting on a mask. That was actually pretty cool. You know me, I'm a big fan of masks. And putting them on in first person is always sort of a cool visual thing, I think. Dishonored does that, especially the first one. He used to put it on and off, you know, during before and after missions and stuff. It was always a cool effect. But anyway, skeleton punching, and that's that. Simple but solid, and you can't really argue with that. I like this quite a lot. I really do want to play that one. As with many Greenlight games that seem to give a shit, this has a relatively lavish description page with nice headers and banners and everything. Apocryph is an FPS set in a brutal dark fantasy world. They're naming roguelite elements. We're talking procedural levels, items, character perks, and permanent death. So it's one of those. Okay, I know some people aren't fond of them. Personally, I love them, so that's all good news to me. I didn't actually know that before I decided to pick this one, because I'm impulsive, and I'll just grab a trailer and then look at the description later. So that's good, I'm happy about that, especially because the world of Apocryph is apparently a grim, violent place harboring magic, dark rituals, dangers around every corner. So lots of monsters, traps, locked packages. Packages? I meant to say passages. Fuck it, we'll keep it in. You can only depend on yourself and your equipment to survive the trials. Ooh, exciting. The weapons, or armour, or whatever it is shown on this features page, they look like they belong in Dynasty Warriors. Like, look at that thing in the middle. You could see a Dynasty Warriors character holding those two, doing all sorts of flashy attack moves with it. Again, not a criticism. I'm fine with that. As well as the procedural generated levels, we've got up to 9 different weapons with alternate fire modes, including melee armaments, spells, staffs, and artifacts. There are also rare and powerful relics, like the dreaded Obliterator mask. I guess that's what we saw there. Encases you in a suit of nigh impenetrable armor, allows you to bash enemies with your plain fists, and send powerful shockwaves across the walls and floor. Or the Essence of the Reaper, which turns you into an avatar of death itself, boosting your speed, granting you wings to perform double jumps, and a wicked scythe which cleaves and destroys any opponent. Let's check out the plot while we're here. You control the Arbiter, once a person of a high rank in Jalai religious hierarchy. The Jalai were known for many things, such as their artistry, magical arts, and unity, but all the worlds feared them for a different reason. The Jalai... Stop saying that, because I don't know how to say that. I've said Jalai, but it could be Ixalai or Zalai or what. If you did it once, I could have just gotten away with it. You made me say it 3 fucking times. Anyway, the Exilai worship death itself. For centuries, they raided countless worlds, reaping souls in the name of their dreaded mistress. Events preceding the game have led to your exile, and now, after many years, you return back only to find fortresses and lands overrun with demonic spawns and vile beasts. Why were you exiled? What could cause this desolation? It's time to find out some answers and reap some demon spawn in the name of Pale Mistress. So this is still in early development, apparently, which is interesting because it does look fairly robust already. A lot of games that appear on Greenlight claiming to be in early development, they don't even look pre-alpha. You know, they look awful. No content, very basic placeholder assets, some of which you expect to still be there when the game does decide to turn up on Steam. The footage they showed in this trailer, though, already looks like something I'd love to give a go, so that's very promising. There's a second trailer which shows, you know, just some more combat. It's not as flashy as the other one, but it does show off some interesting things, like the ability to see enemies through walls and stuff like that. That's one of the big difference makers between a game like this and some shoddy knockoff asset flip that you could see on Steam. There's actual features in this game. The ability to see through walls seems like a little thing, many games have done it, but it's the kind of feature that is often well beyond the grasp of some of the programmers, quote unquote, that get their stuff on Steam. Little things like that seem to demonstrate that this developer knows how to develop, which you'd think would be a minimum requirement to be a game developer, but not these days. So the fact that this developer does seem to be able to develop is another encouraging sign indeed. So that's Apocryph, a game that I quite like the look of, I think might be quite a bit of fun, and that's why it's in this series. That's how this series works.